Hello everybody, Mark, aka the Nerdy Punk, back again today for a new video. I hope you all are doing well. I'm trying out a little bit of a different filming location today, so a little bit concerned about the the light shining through there. Hopefully it's not too distracting or anything, and this works out as a decent filming location. Today, what I thought I would do is, in honor of the release of The Batman, which is coming out next Thursday night, actually, is the first night of showings. But next Friday, March 4th, is the official release date of that film. Super excited for it. It's my #1 most anticipated movie of the year, and I will be seeing it opening weekend without a doubt. So I'm very much looking forward to that movie, and you can look forward to my review on that movie, hopefully coming out either Friday night or Saturday morning, most likely, of next weekend. So for today, what I thought I would do in honor of that release is I'm going to show you every single Batman-related Blu-ray that I have, and a couple DVDs and some 4K releases as well. So I hope you guys are interested in this content, and hope it's a good kind of pregame for The Batman. Now, I'm not necessarily going to watch all these movies before watching The Batman, but my goal is to watch all of the Dark Knight trilogy, either this weekend or throughout the week next week. Especially The Dark Knight, because The Dark Knight is, spoiler alert, my favorite Batman movie ever, and definitely in contention for my favorite movie of all time. So I always, before I watch like a new Batman movie, I want to watch The Dark Knight to remind myself of what a great Batman movie is. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. Starting out with some DC animated movies. Now, these are movies that either feature Batman as the main character or as one of the main characters. So, like, there's a couple Justice League movies in this list. First up is Batman Gotham Knight. This is a really early DC animated. It is part of the DC animated universe, it looks like. I wasn't 100% sure, but this is like an anthology movie with 4 different kind of short stories related to Batman. The animation style is a lot kind of like anime or Japanese animation, so it's kind of an interesting one, a bit unique. Some of these animated movies I have seen, some of them I haven't. I've seen almost all the live action movies, but the animated movies are kind of my blind spot. I like them. They're not my favorite thing in the world, so I don't buy like every single one. Next one up is Justice League War. Haven't seen this one, but of course featuring Batman. This one I have seen, a bit of a disappointment. Batman the Killing Joke. This is one of the most famous comics of all time. Everybody was super looking forward to this adaptation, and it was mediocre, to say the least. Kind of an underwhelming effort right here. It features about a 30-minute prologue that has absolutely nothing to do with the story itself, which I think is what frustrated a lot of people. This is rated R, which is unusual for an animated film, but yeah, not the greatest, but still an iconic comic, and of course features Mark Hamill's Joker and Kevin Conroy's Batman. And then this next one, this is the Steelbook release for Batman The Long Halloween Part 1. I do not own Part 2 yet. I'm still on the hunt for that. I probably won't be able to find the Steelbook, which is unfortunate. But yeah, this is Batman The Long Halloween Part 1. And kind of a fun fact about this release. So, it comes with 1 disc, even though there's clearly a slot for 2 discs. And this is how the movie released. This is not like missing anything, or this is how it released. I'm assuming what happened was that they were going to do a 4K, and then they kind of just ditched it last minute and decided to just release the Blu-ray and digital. Okay, so those are my DC animated movies. Again, pretty small collection. I have a couple others of different characters, but none with Batman in them. Next, we're going to move into live action. And I'm doing live action by order of release for the most part. So first up, we have the Batman Anthology on Blu-ray from 1989 to 1997. This is the 4-movie collection, features the 2 Tim Burton films, as well as the 2 Joel Schumacher films. The Joel Schumacher films are notoriously hated on. I haven't seen them. They're one of the few Batman movies that I haven't seen. I think Tim Burton movies are pretty decent. I did not grow up with them, for sure. I grew up with the Christopher Nolan movies, so they don't have any nostalgic factor for me, and I don't go back to these movies all that often, but it is a notable step in the history of Batman on film. And this set is pretty cool in the way that it opens. It opens at the top, and then you have the 4 movies in their own slim Blu-ray cases. So we've got Batman from 1989, starring Michael Keaton. Then we've got Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and then the most notorious Batman movie, perhaps live action in any ways, Batman and Robin, with the bat nipples and Mr. Freeze, Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze, all that stuff. Continuing with the Tim Burton series, I have the original Batman 1989 on 4K. Pretty nice release. I've heard some complaints about the color grading on this, but I had no issues with it. And then moving on to my all-time favorite Batman series, and potentially one of my favorite film trilogies ever, and that is the Dark Knight Trilogy. Now, I do not own Batman Begins I don't own Batman Begins or The Dark Knight Rises on 4K, and I don't own Batman Begins on Blu-ray even. So that's a problem. I need to fix that, but I do own here The Dark Knight on 4K. This is, again, one of my favorite movies of all time. Heath Ledger's Joker is one of my favorite performances of all time. I enjoy Christian Bale's Batman, Christopher Nolan's direction. This is a perfect superhero movie, in my opinion. Light years better than almost every Marvel movie ever. This is the way that superhero movies should be done. And I'm excited for the new Batman for one of the reasons is that it looks like it takes inspiration from Nolan's series in the dark tone and the serious tone that it's going for, but it takes it in a different direction, a fresh direction. And that's one of the reasons I'm so excited for the Batman. So anyway, there's the, sorry about the glare, but there's the back of the 4K. Awesome movie. Had to have it on 4K. I want the slipcover really badly, but I don't have it. And then I have the Blu-ray release for The Dark Knight Rises with the cool lenticular slipcover. Even if I do upgrade this to 4K, I will probably continue to keep this in my collection because this is just a really cool slipcover for The Dark Knight Rises. Probably my least favorite of the 3, but still a pretty good movie. And then as for Batman Begins, I do have one copy of it on physical media, and that is in this really cool DVD set for the Dark Knight Trilogy. Again, a really cool lenticular slipcover. I've had this thing for years. I've had it for a really long time. It was one of the first things I bought when I really got huge into collecting. I want to say I bought this in like 2014, 2013, something along those lines, and I was still buying DVDs, obviously. So this is a DVD set. It's really cool. It's one of the best releases of the trilogy, in my opinion. And then what it does is it comes with the movies in this cool digipack. It's going to fall over. Let's see. So there's my one and only copy of Batman Begins on physical media. And then it has like digital copy codes and stuff. And then you have the other movies. You got Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises with the cool Batman logo in the background with all 3 kind of themes. And then you have this really cool shot on the back of Christian Bale on whatever they call that, the Bat Pod, I think, is what they called it. And then also, as a part of this release, you get this little extra book. And you've got all the villains on the back. Really cool. And it's just got a lot of kind of pictures from films, and there is some cool, like, behind-the-scenes stuff. Like, you get to see some of the designs and sketches and some shots of Christopher Nolan while directing the movie. Pretty cool stuff. So that's a really cool release. And, you know, I don't watch it anymore because I don't watch DVDs hardly at all anymore. But if you're a collector like me, this is certainly a cool thing to find, and you can probably get it pretty cheap on eBay these days. And then finally, we have the DC Extended Universe movies featuring Batman. First up, you have Batman vs. Superman. I've got the cool lenticular 3D Blu-ray release for this one. Not a huge fan of the movie, but a cool release. I was kind of underwhelmed with Ben Affleck's Batman in the first place. I hated him at first, and then I started to warm up to him because I realized Ben Affleck is a decent actor if given the right role, but I still was overwhelmingly underwhelmed with his Batman performances. Part of that is the fault of the movies. I don't think the movies were that great, but as with both of these films that I'm going to talk about, the director's cut versions are so much better than the theatrical versions. DC really screwed up the development of a lot of their movies because of studio interference. Speaking of that, we have Justice League. This is it says just Blu-ray on the spine, but I'm almost entirely sure that this is a 4K release. Let me see. Yeah, this is a 4K release. It's got a 4K Blu-ray right there, and then a little comic, little extra thing that they gave you as a part of this release. Pretty cool release, but I'm not a huge fan of the movie again. And then this one, I gotta be honest, I haven't seen this, but I've heard everybody just rant and rave about it. Zack Snyder's Justice League. The mega cut of Justice League. This was Zack Snyder's vision, and I've heard it's so much better than the theatrical cut. So I need to get around to watching this, but I do have it on 4K. And maybe eventually I will get around to watching it. Alright, that is all of my Batman DVD and Blu-ray collection. And 4K collection as well. Let me know your thoughts down below. What is your favorite Batman movie? Are you excited for the Batman coming up next weekend? And I hope you all have an incredible weekend. See you later.